Did you know last season that they'd be paying you, or was that kind of like you found out through that message?
Uh, it was something that was discussed previously. Um,
Oh yeah.
but yeah, it was a little bit up in the air until uh, yeah, said that he'd got himself a new job. So
Yeah. I mean,
mm,
it's just a bonus to be honest.
yeah, that's all it really is.
Have you started your stream?
Yeah.
Okay, so mine. Yes, okay, mine's working.
So I guess you did a little test stream earlier today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also up and running now, which is good.
Yeah.
Alright, that's good. My POV doesn't have anyone echoing, which is good. That just kind of cancelled out what happened.
Yeah, I don't have much of an echo on my end, I don't think.
Yeah, it's well, is your mic that is echoing, but on your stream, my mic will be echoing a lot. Like my voice will genuinely echo.
No, it's sounded pretty good on my end, so
Yeah, yeah, I know yours will be fine, but
mm,
when I was rewatching streams, my voice would echo. But on
yeah,
my stream right now, none of them are echoing, which is good.
yeah.
Let me find out which one is mine's is play out both streams now we're just waiting for obviously more drivers. Only 13.
Yeah.
Charlie says he's got an issue with his game.
Mhm.
Oh, here's Charlie. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
18 people only. Ready.
Yeah.
We're missing 2 drivers. An Aston Martin and Alfa Romeo. Okay. I'll do intro like Hello everyone and welcome back to Pro Am Formula Racing, where tonight is round 3 in season 4 of the top division. The circuit we will be racing as the Portimao circuit, situated in Portugal. The circuit has 15 corners, 11 to the right and 4 to the left. Known for many ups and downs and usually referred to as a roller coaster experience. Drivers will have to be careful when laying down power to make sure they don't spin out, especially up the uphill right-hander of turn 8, where many drivers could be caught out today. To join me in the commentary booth, as always, is Labyrinth. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing yourself?
Yeah, great, and happy to be back for another week here. Yeah, it was very interesting in Emlo. A lot of crashes up the top again, many being Ananas, who isn't racing tonight, and I don't think will be taking part in Div 1 anymore. And there were just collisions galore. Many people being spun out. Kabudi and Ananas, they had a collision going into the hairpin kind of, and then Pantera got caught out in that as well, who actually went on to win his second in a row. So Pantera on a roll. Could he maybe do it again tonight?
Yeah, Imola was definitely a track that had quite a lot of controversy.
That's a light way to put it.
Yeah, that is, I think. But this is a very interesting track because it's not one that I've actually raced on myself yet. So,
Really?
No, but when I first saw the picture of it on our Discord, I almost thought it looked like a copy and paste of a Spain circuit.
Yeah, definitely. It does resemble it, especially in the overhead layout. But definitely not the same when it comes to the up and downs. as we're running on board with Gabby, who's a reserve for tonight. This turn 8, it's an uphill, and on the exit, very easy to spin from, especially from my time running it. I think I spun in the Thursday division of the AFR earlier this week. Yeah, it's very easy to spin out, very easy through many of the corners. A lot of the acceleration points are uphill, so to get caught out mid-corner. But as I said, we've got Gabri coming out for the Ferrari reserve, so he's making sure he can prove something, maybe cement permanent seat in Division 1. He's coming around the first couple of corners. It's interesting, the turn 1, it's very easy to run wide, yet people, even though they know how easy it is to run wide and you need to brake, the feeling of the corner, it makes you just want to accelerate more. And I've definitely validated quite a few laps, just wanting to accelerate more than what I probably should, more than what everyone really should, really. But he's coming through the hairpin now, turn 5. Another easy one to spin out if you aren't careful. You want to exit on in third gear, maybe short shift up to 4th. He goes through turn 8 pretty well, luckily. No spins already. I'm just going to keep an eye on the mini-map just in case something does happen. A lot of people close together, especially these Alpha Towers, Kuga and Wiener. And he gets a little wayward through that left-hander, the back end's kind of sliding out. He holds and through the final couple of corners, the last braking zone, before the end of the lap. This is the final corner. It's a very long right-hander, almost 90 degrees in full. Coming up to the line, he's going to set a 1:17.7, actually pretty good lap time for a banker. But as we've seen multiple times, and that's Jay's in the wall. I've just switched to his POV. Jay's P2, he's in the wall. Luckily, he hasn't DNF'd, but he has broken his wing, and that's the medium tires probably already gone from him, which maybe was the preferred strategy. So starting on the, he was going to hards, but so that's very unlucky for him. Racing up top in the now McLaren. Oh wait, no, never mind, I'm getting confused with Division AU, which he races in Haas, which I was very confused for a second. He's in the McLaren. He sets the fastest, did set the fastest lap until Nux, the 1:16.9. In the Alpine goes fast. I believe he's P4 or 5 in the standings right now.
And Cool Guy is disqualified for being the wrong way round.
Cool Guy. That is very unfortunate from him. It has been. I've seen it many times before. They just try to flick around and maybe go that little bit too much backwards. But so very unfortunate for me, being starting from P18.
Ethan Kivas the new fastest lap time as well with a 1:16.6.
Yeah, good job from him. He came each race from him. He pretty much came from nowhere in the end. And Jay's just leading the main pack, which was following Pantera, who was about 13 seconds ahead after what really was a strategy genius pitting for hards on the first safety car and just going to the end and having a massive gap while the others just tried to scramble for positions, trying to catch up at the same time. So he ended up passing everyone through that train and ended up coming P2, so that puts him second in the standings now. And Nux was saying he's P6 after I think an earlier podium in Bahrain. He came P3 behind Felix and Pantera. So he's definitely one of the top guys, as well as Jace, Felix, and Trey, also known as Cool Guy, who's actually been disqualified, as we said before, Kev and Pantera, who's won both of the last races and is leading on 30 points. as we talk about Pantera. He's starting his lap now. The number 88 Haas coming through turn 1 now. He doesn't use probably much room as he can, but he does stay within those white lines. Coming through turn 4 now. Another very easy now, or just lose traction, go wide. He sets purple first sector, so very good from him so far. It's looking like a solid start to the lap. Pretty get it back around sector 3, I think it's just car going slowly. Now to turn 8. Very, very easy on the throttle mid-corner, which is when people start to accelerate halfway. So we've been now to the downhill right-hander. Switching back to the left of turn 12. Now through turn 13, you want to short shift up to 4th as he does there, and turn 14, last braking zone of the lap, coming around the final corner now. There's an Alfa Romeo up ahead. He will not go in the way. That's Charlie coming into the pits. Takes a middle line for the end. It's going to be a 1:16.7. That's good enough for P2, just ahead of Nux and behind Kev. So a pretty good lap from him. About half a second, if maybe a little bit more, behind Kev for that first run provisional pole position.
Yeah, it's a great time there by Pantera.
Yeah, definitely just showing his consistency. I believe he got pole last race. Oh wait, no he didn't, sorry, that was Anna's. He actually hasn't got pole yet. So very interesting for him. He's won both races through amazing patience and amazing racecraft in general. And Jay's actually sets the fastest lap on soft compound tires after coming in to change his wing. 1:16.4 is the new banker for the provisional pole. If you want to go pole, you have to beat that, obviously. Cool guy just in the chat saying that he spun around and got disqualified, so again, very unlucky from him, and sad to not see him up the top where he probably belongs, but he can do in the race, see if he can make his way through the field. Magnum Gelato, or Gelato, 1 or 2, in 5th now. Probably flying a bit under the radar, maybe. I'm gonna have a look if he is. Unless I think he's actually he's definitely familiar name of last season. So he's going to also want to see what he can do to kind of settle that seat, because I'm pretty sure he will want to be racing full time. He's on a lap right now. He's coming to the end of sector 2. Let's see what he has through the splits. He's going to be down by a 10th, so unless he has a stellar last sector, it will remain P5 for him. I'm just going to follow him for the rest of the lap, and he backs off. So that's the end. Atom Kev now goes pole with a 16.399. So only 800ths faster than Jace. We got TSW Freestyler in P6. He's on the lap as well. He's just coming through the middle sector now. Coming to turn 8, which surprisingly for me, at least, I haven't seen anyone spin through here, so very good discipline on throttle for all these drivers, showing why they should be in League 1 and why they are racing a good win tonight. Coming to the end of sector 2, and he actually goes a bit wide and invalidates, even though he was half a tenth up on his lap. That will be the end of that one. Probably coming to the pits for another set of times. He's going to get out of the way for one of the Alpines behind the Nuts. Because that's now just ruined his run out the final corner. If he did win a second lap time, he could still theoretically go for it, but we have Nuts on his second lap. Let's see what he can do. Well, he goes into P3, so just ahead of Pantera, who could probably improve a lot more. most of the other people in this top 10. Separated a bit more than what I thought it would have been. Vertex just goes P6 there, and same with Racing Western to P5. So yeah, a gap of about 1 second to the top 10, so maybe not as close as what it could be, but you never know, towards the end it will close up and there could be about half a tenth on that. And we've got 3 people yet to set the time yet. Kavudi, who has shown his pace before. He was up there in Imola, in Division 1 race in Imola, and he came P3 in EU. He's next across the line to set a lap time. He hasn't invalidated a short run to the line. This is 16.8, so that puts him P6. Very good luck from him. And the other person that hadn't set a lap time at that moment was Iron Apple, who goes P12 with a 117.4. For someone that was a reserve last race, he definitely showed pace before getting in an instant yet again with New Jersey. Yeah, so he got very unlucky there. He was on for a podium, I would say, as we actually just saw Felix 1 join the session. I don't know if he'll be able to get in a car and go around, or if he'll have to wait to the race to start competing. In fact, he will start P19 if that is the case.
Yeah, just going back to Iron Apple and, you know, the race that he had at Imola last weekend, I feel he was definitely on for a podium as well. It's just a shame the collision that happened. Yeah,
definitely. Obviously he had the move done. From my memory, he had the move done going into turn 1, and just New Jersey probably outbraked himself a little bit and just clipped the rear tyre. But now being full time, because he was reserved last race, filling in for Ads, who has dropped out and dropped to the reserve line due to inconsistency, maybe or due to inconsistency not being able to race. And Felix 1 was able to join, but he just wants to go to the back end in fairness for not being on time, so good job to him. So we'll have 2 fast guys towards the back. Felix and Cool Guy, P19 and P18 already decided. So yeah, Iron Apple now being full time, he's going to want to definitely prove himself, see if he can have a comeback podium in this race, show his full potential. Definitely won't be good enough with P12. He'll want to be up there in the top 5 at least. We got who's on track right now. I'm looking people on the lap towards the front. I think Atom Kev's on the lap. Our provisional pole sitter. He's currently P1 coming through turn 8. Very cautious through turn 8 is the word I was looking for in my head. Comes through the final corner of sector 2. He's half a tenth down, so he's going to want to find a bit more pace in the final sector. Kev and the Red Bull, from what I've known in pre-season, he was pretty quick around here, competing for the podium and the win as he dived into the pit, so he will not be improving on that lap time. Maybe it was a bit too much down this time. And we have Pantera now. I don't know if he's on a competitive lap. He's upshifting a lot. I don't think he is. Yeah, he's 2 seconds down, so he's coming not on a competitive hot lap. He's then got the next one is Big Boy. He's a second down actually, so it won't be him. Next is Vit in P14 for the Red Bull. He hasn't had the best of luck recently. He's had 2 DNFs in the start of his campaign in Div 1. He's going to want to at least score some points this race, maybe. Stay out of incidents at least and finish. But he'll definitely want some points in the next couple of rounds, just build that confidence up. And I reckon with a clean race, anything is possible, as we saw definitely in Imola with, I think, 10 or even maybe 11 DNFs. And that was that Nux. Nux is off the track coming up to turn 13, so he's got spun around, which the left-hander of turn 12 could definitely do if you don't have the right setup and you may be using a bit too much ERS. The downforce out the rear just goes and you, the rear steps out from you. And that's P6 of it as we're on board talking about Nux. But yeah, that turn 12 definitely easy to spin if you're not careful. It's flat mainly. Well, flat usually, but definitely easy to spin if you're on too much rearing on your setup. But we've got J's in P2. Gonna improve by about a 10th if he wants to go for provisional pole right now, maybe 2 tenths if he wants to be safe, at least. Coming to the end of sector 2 now, let's see his split. He goes a bit wide, luckily doesn't invalidate, but he does spin. As I was just talking, turn 12, very easy to spin, just carrying too much downforce on the rear compared to the front, and just lose it. So he's gonna maybe go for another quick corner, as we've got 12 seconds left in this session, as there's just a bunch of yellow flags just covering that. We've got Pantera now for a fastest 16.2. He moves to provisional pole. Will Jays go across the line? I don't think he will. That's the end of the session. Jays barely losing out to the checkered flag there. Kev is not on a flying lap. He won't be able to improve. Pantera currently P1, followed by Kev. Jays, Nux is finished. Kavudi not on a fast lap. He's in P5, racing up to, I think he's next out of the top guys. He's the next fastest on a lap right now. Let's see what he can do. He's currently 5 tenths off pole, so let's see his sector split through sector 2. Coming out of the corner, just invalidates, even though he's 2 tenths up, so that would have put him maybe above Kavudi and Nux, but that hasn't. Freestyle's in the pit P8. Vertex, let's see what he can do. He's not on an invalidated lap time, and he's in P9. How much more can he improve on those soft compound tires? Just runs out of ERS as most people do before the line. That's 1:16.9. That's good enough to stay in P9, but just extend that gap to the people behind. Iron Apple was the last one, but he's currently lost his front wing after a spin and invalidated lap time anyway. So that is qualifying for Portugal, and this is your grid then for the race. Pantera on pole after an amazing lap, his first pole position of the season.
Yeah, I think he's been quite happy about that.
Yeah, he definitely will be. Probably a big relief, showing that he can finally have the pace to get that pole position. So he's on pole. Atom Kev follows him behind. James and Nux on the second row. Kavudi racing up to the reserve in the McLaren P6. Freestyler and Vit P7 and 8. Vit finally making that top 10. Maybe showing some pace. It could be. I hope that isn't jinxing him. Then we have Vertex and Magnum rounding off the top 10. On the 6th row of the grid, we've got Big Boy and Gabri. And we've got the rest of the positions for you when the results come through in case of any penalties that weren't picked up by us. We've got Pantera, Kev, Jays, Nux, Kavudi racing up to Freestyler, Vit, Vertex, Magnum, Big Boy and Gabri. Then we're up to Iron Apple and the Williams. Definitely not true showing with this pace down in P13. We've got Charlie then, and Havina in 14th and 15th. BWS in the second McLaren, he's also a reserve. We haven't seen his name before in the season. Then Ash P17, and then Felix, who joined halfway through the session, retiring just to make sure, well, because he joined late, he wanted to start at the back, and then Cool Guy, who got disqualified for going the wrong way after spinning. That is your grid, and the race is going to be starting shortly. Very good session. Very, I would say, uneventful. It was very clean and a bit of drama at the top. With Jace just losing it, probably going to go pole, and just lost it through turn as well. The back end. That's probably the only real eventful thing that happened that session.
Yeah, and just looking at the weather at the track as well, it's quite cloudy at the moment, so there actually might be a chance of a wet race perhaps on the cards as it progresses.
That would definitely be interesting. We haven't had rain yet this season.
Yeah, it'll definitely throw a lot of strategies out, and
definitely, especially those ones that maybe could have gone a bit faster on the medium compounds that, you know, if the rain does come early on, maybe the soft compound tyre runners benefit from that. So if anyone in the top 10 started on the mediums, which I didn't actually pick up on.
I think there was only 2 that I saw that were on the medium tyres in the top 10.
Yeah, so if there is any rain and it were to come very early, very big change probably for them, because they could have gone faster on soft compound tyres. But I'm gonna maybe try get some confirmation on the weather and get that to you guys, see if there will be rain later in the race. As we're just waiting for the ready up announcement as usual. Vertex in the Discord says cloudy with no threat of rain, so what current says we never know how predictable it can be, or how trustworthy it can be, but it's saying no threat of rain, so I would say there probably isn't going to be any rain, just some light cloud.
Just as I was getting my hopes up for a very interesting race.
I reckon it'll be interesting nonetheless. I don't think we've had a dull race in the first two rounds of the season, and then Jay says it just goes to like I would I definitely would be interesting either way. There'll definitely be quite a few incidents, towards the start of the Grand Prix as everyone's packed up, you know, desync and everything can cause mayhem towards the back. So, I mean, hopefully there isn't any proper crashes that result in DNFs, because that'd be very unfortunate, especially for those racing. You don't want a DNF first corner after all this practice you probably do all week.
Yeah, especially for like Pantera having got his first pole position, he'd actually ran into the side of and pretty much have his race done.
Yeah, definitely. He doesn't want that happening. He doesn't want anyone starting on the outside as P1, so unless he comes to cover that off, if someone gets a better start behind him, very easy for someone to just go down the inside. As Macklin joins back, I think he might have disconnected earlier. Didn't see that, but look, as Pantera leads us away for the formation lap in the Haas. That yellow helmet, Senna colours, it seems like yellow and green there, so maybe his idol? Never know. Then Asimkev, number 19 in the Red Bull behind him, very consistent top fives at the start of this campaign. Then we have Jays, who had a very good race. Last race in Imola came P3, was P2 for most of it after the collisions, and that's Kev off the track. He just takes out a few of the sponsor boards there, but no damage, well, there wouldn't be any damage to emissions, but hasn't really spun or anything to overheat the tyres, so lucky for him. Then Nux in the Alpine, he's in P6 in the championship, so he's going to want to maybe get a podium here, just boost that ahead of Felix. These top guys definitely want to make the most of Felix and Cool Guy, their championship contenders, who are down towards the back of the grid right now, as the leaders are coming up to their grid positions, and the last guys are just coming in the front corner now. Predicted stop strategy, it's 2 stop both ways. One including 2 mediums and one including 2 softs. Be interesting to see if anyone goes for a 1 stop, because it's soft to medium around here. It is pretty hard to do, but it is possible, so 1 stop I would say definitely is on whether that incorporates the hards or not. Go to 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. Underway. We're gonna have a look on board. It seems like Nux had an amazing getaway. He's already up to P2 from starting P4. Looking back from Pantera's POV, Kev and Nux going side by side into turn 3 now, the first proper braking zone. There's an AlphaTauri behind of Pavina, who may have got collected. Nux on the outside of Atom Kev. Atom Kev just sets in front, but Nux is maybe going to go for the move around the outside. He cuts back in to do the old the old over and under. He doesn't get the exit though, and Kev stays ahead. Almost to Pantera in front. Nux up to P4. Jay just dropped down all the way to P6. Not a great start for him, losing 3 positions. Vertex P7, Magnum Galato in P8. There's Charlie and Kavudi switching positions towards the back of the grid. We've got 3 cars kind of off the pack, maybe just incidents between them, but it doesn't seem like anyone's got any damage. No one's going too slowly. And towards the end of the first lap, it's just under a second for Pantera to Kev. Then we have Nux behind in P3 after almost making the move on Kev, just getting out broken by Kev. And he settles for P3 after getting it. What was an amazing start, but Freestyler in the Haas P4 now, so 2 Haas's inside the top 5. Very good from him. Freestyler runs wide, so I wouldn't be surprised if that is a warning for him. One of the other factors we forgot to mention that could go to this is penalties. Very easy to corner cut. There's actually a collision behind Kavudi. Ghosted it. I think he just came back onto the track. He's gone an incident, and we have Gabri in the pits. He had to change his front. So Gabri, there obviously was contact, and he did have damage. Not enough damage to really result in too much time loss, but he wanted to come in nonetheless. Adam Gebb is shredded. Get half a second now to Pantera. He actually was a bit on exit there, up to 7/10, and we have Nux following behind. He's within another half second of Atom Kev and Freestyler after an amazing start. P4, I just looked back, racing up to almost lost it through turn 13 there, now into turn 15, the end of lap 2. DRS is now going to be enabled, and Kev has the fastest lap of the race, 19.6, sorry. And Gabri lost at turn 8. He's not having a great start to his Dibon career, reserving for that Ferrari team, and he's on about 2 seconds behind the rest of the field. But we have very interesting start. Jay's the main loser out of the top 5. Kavuda's already got a 3-second penalty. He sat on 18th after a collision. I don't know who did, but I did believe I saw him spin on the map. Yeah, so back to Jays, he just didn't seem to get the launch that he wanted. And we've got another person spun at turn 8, it's Vit. Vit has spun towards turn 8 in the McLaren, and after starting P8, and what I thought maybe would have been great hopes, he spins again. So just hot tyres there, and that's very unlucky. Someone that I thought maybe he could have gotten points today. And he probably still could if there's a safety car, but those tyres are dead. He's going to want to pit at the end of the lap. And Felix has retired! Felix was retired on the end of turn 15. It looks like by skid marks he's just lost it and overcorrecting and gone straight into the barrier. So one of the championship contenders right now is already out of the race. I'm gonna see if I can find out what happened. He'll probably put it in the chat as we do see Vic come into the pit as I thought. I don't know what's happened there. It's very... I've never seen that before, I don't think. And Felix just leaves the session there, so... Already out, P18, gonna be P19. I've never seen that happen before. I've never seen someone really overcorrect by the skid marks. It seems like he just started to lose it and spun into the barrier, but he was head on, so I don't know if he did a full rotation before going into the barrier, if he just went straight and maybe locked the tyres before being able to turn.
Yeah, judging by the skid marks, didn't look as though they were
yeah, we'll get on board from Pantera here to just see if those skid marks are still there. Yeah, it just seems like he went straight on.
Yeah.
So my best guess would be overcorrection, maybe starting to lose the back end and going through the right, just overcorrected left, and probably lock the brakes before going into the barrier so you can slow it down.
Yeah. Or the worst thing that anyone wants to have, maybe their wheel or controller disconnected without warning, and then...
Yeah, definitely, that could have happened as well, maybe. But actually, as we're seeing, Pantera has lost a couple of positions to Kev on the main straight with DRS and almost losing it to nuts through the first sequence of braking zones of turn 3, 4. But Kev has a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings, so that's going to throw it into the works. He's going to want a 3-second gap to pull it out, obviously, by the end of the race if he wants to win the Pantera. Can he maybe come back Kev in the DRS? At the end of the lap, or will Nuts be close enough to maybe take P2 from Pantera? He looks a bit squirrely through turn 12 there, where we've already seen multiple people spin, mainly on board with Jays when that happened. But Pantera is 7 tenths behind Kev going onto this main straight now. Let's see what he can do. Kev, he doesn't want to break the toe right now, he's just going to go straight, and it doesn't look like he's going to be close enough. He's gaining, but not enough. Maybe he can do go down to turn 5 in the hairpin. Yeah, he seems a bit closer now, obviously, with that. Let's do something up the hill if he gets a good exit. It looked like Kev just being there and not to be able to do anything from behind. No, they stay 1, 2, 3 as they were before the previous lap. Racing up to P4, passing Freestyler, who's maybe lost a bit of pace over the last couple of laps, and he's currently under threat from Jay's behind. 5 tenths is that gap between 5th and 6th. Charlie sets to pass that on soft compound tyres. I think he's coming to the pit, so that's a 19.4. It's a new fastest lap of the race. He will not get that extra point, obviously, as he's outside the top 10. Looking back, can Pantera come back this lap? He's even further behind than what he was. Charlie picks up a 3-second there. Pantera, he's just lost a bit. Maybe he's struggling for tyre wear. Maybe he needs to pit in the next couple laps. Maybe that's what's happening. But Nuts in the prime position right now, and there's another collision behind. Kavuti spins again, it seems like. But will Nuts be able to do anything? No, they all just stay where they are, very disappointed. About 5 tenths in between all of them, or like the gap between Pantera and Kevin, Pantera and Nuts, both 5 tenths, so second separating the top 3 now. Very close indeed, as they've all just got DRS and going to be a massive DRS train Nux almost going into the back of Pantera there. With the overspeed from DRS maybe outbraking a bit from what he should have. But coming through turn 8 now, Kavudi retires. Oh, he's in the pit, so there was not another collision, but that's a double DNF and 19th and 18th finish for the Aston Martin boys. And Cool Guy has got another disqualification for going the wrong way. So maybe he now goes to P19, that's an 18th and 17th for the Aston Martin boys. 2 1 points finished from them, I should say, in case time. That's 2 disqualifications, maybe just doing the exact same thing.
Man, it seems as though this track's just not quite as forgiving as what some other tracks are.
Definitely, and maybe depending where it was on the infield, because it seems pretty, especially through that turn 7 and 8, the infield kind of all connects, so you can easily cut it. So maybe the track thought he was on the exit of turn 8, so going backwards, trying to rejoin into turn 7. Maybe it thought it was just going backwards and just so very unlucky. That's another disqualification in this round, so he'll obviously have to send in evidence to see what exactly happened. I don't think he knows it.
No, I think it was just an accident was all.
Definitely, but in the meantime, Jace has got ahead of Freestyle and is starting his comeback after not a great start. If you haven't seen the start of the stream, he dropped down from P3 all the way to P6. I didn't get the grip. He is currently at P5 now. He's going to want to start to charge. Maybe an early pit stop, maybe get the undercut. But we have Nux into the pit, so the first of the top 5 to come into the pit. He's going to maybe come onto this. I would say mediums if he's hitting this early, and he does.
Yeah, it looks like the crew's got medium tyres available for him, so interesting.
Yeah, and I've actually lost connection to the broadcasting server, so everyone's going to have to switch over to your stream now. I'll see if we can get it back up and running. I don't know what's happened, maybe my internet. Maybe my internet just gave away for a little bit of a second. We'll see, I think I'm back. So there's a bit of a mishap there from mine. And I've actually got Felix's POV here. I'm going to have a look at it. See what exactly happened. It's running through turn 4 delay. I see he was going side by side with Cool Guy, and they make a collision, and he got his tyre taken off from hitting Cool Guy's rear, and he just slid on into the barriers. So it wasn't actually from hitting the barriers, he made collision with Cool Guy, and Charlie's actually out. Is he in the pits for that? I think he is. It's already seeing a lot of early retirements. Only about 10 laps in, and we've got 4 people out of the race. It was disqualified. But back to the stop now. We've got Kev on lap 10, leading Pantera from racing up to from Jays. From Gelato, big boy IMAC has made his way into the points. He hasn't hit yet, so he will probably drop out once he does. Nux and Freestyler P9 and 10, who have both made their pit stops. They're gonna maybe go for an undercut, try to get ahead of Kev Pantera at the stop. Then we've got BWS, Vertex, Gabby White, or Gabriel, and Vit and Havini. So Vit, after spinning early on, he's in P14. He could still easily get some points as Ash took his spin there. I just saw it on the map. and just going back towards the front, racing up to also the penalty. I think that's going to be a 3 second corner cutting penalty. Gonna look what can Pantera do. It seems like he has a lot more ERS than Kev. Kev just using a lot, maybe defending from Pantera not having to present the DRS. We'll bring up the telemetry there just to see roughly how much he has. He's currently sat on 15%, and Pantera's on 71. It's there, Pantera having a lot spare. Maybe wanting to use a bit for bit space. You gain a lot from the stop, and he just wants to maximize how much he has. Yeah, he's a lot closer now than what he was quite a few laps ago when we were last on board with him.
Yeah.
What can he do against Asimov now? He's going to have the DRS. Will they stop? Or will they continue? It looks like they both will continue. Pantera may be thinking about going to pits, or Jace does. But he finally has the DRS, and he looks like he has the run, as Kev just doesn't have the ERS to fight. And takes the inside line and back into first position after losing it a couple laps ago. Very good from Pantera there. He was patient and just waited for the DRS, waited for Kev to run out of ERS, and just made the move. They're still in pit, and I think they will be after this lap. Jays rejoins quite a bit behind Nuts. A lot more than what I thought he was going over Nuts pit, so maybe Nuts can make a undercut here, maybe take P1. We'll have to wait and see, obviously. I think they might be pitting this next lap, the two of them. It looked like Pantera wanted to last lap, but just wanted to stay with Kev.
Yeah, or he could have maybe tried faking it, maybe.
Maybe his race up to is quite a bit, just within that second. Almost that second to Kev, so maybe he was just trying to fake out, so just lose him and lose that extra pressure, maybe. As Kev dives into the pits, finally in lap 12, and so does racing up to, so Pantera stays out for another lap. Those tyres would definitely be screaming. We're gonna see what Nux will do compared to Ass and Kev. He's coming through the final corner now. Kev just around the pit exit. He's going to start to accelerate in a matter of seconds. I think he's actually going to get the jump on him. And he does. The undercut has worked. This could mean Nux. As he just loses a bit through turn 1 there, running a bit of the curve. But could this mean that he can get ahead of Pantera and take the provisional lead, or no, take the lead of the race? Because I suspect Einach will be and Galato will be definitely wanting to hit in the next couple of laps. They're all on all the tyres.
Yeah, the top 4 haven't actually made their stop yet, nor has Ash, so I think Nux actually might be on provisional pole at the moment.
Provisional P1.
That's right.
All good, but yeah, he's definitely got that gap very much close down to Pantera, and Pantera actually pits. He's got a 23-second gap coming through the final couple of corners. I think it's about 25-second loss in the pit lane. Pantera finally comes into his box. What will Nux do? Exits. It's a very short run for the Haas, obviously being at the end of the pit lane. Maybe that mistake at turn 1 has cost him P1. He's going to have the overspeed. He's going to go down and they collide. I don't think he's got damage from that, but they definitely touched. And they touched a bit there. A bit of wheel banking going on. Pantera definitely defending quite a bit. Nux having no ERS. And probably using a bit too much to fight this, but he actually does go into the lead. A lovely move around the outside, and I think Kev will follow him there. Gone off it. No, he doesn't. Kev almost made the move on Pantera as well, but isn't able to, so Nux takes P1. or provisional P1, and followed by Pantera and Kev racing up to provisional P4, and Jays is locked behind him. That's your provisional top 5, obviously, as Einapple, Big Boy and Gelato haven't P. I suspect Gelato will decide as he's on softs, and he doesn't. He continues on, so maybe he's going for the one stop to the mediums. And or maybe even to the hards, so Gelato could be a late drama fixture to this race. However, have to obviously wait to see what he goes on to. For these top 3, these guys will be doing the one stop, and everyone behind will probably have one stop more to go unless they want to stretch those mediums as far as they can. Definitely possible for Pantera, who's just hit. So we're gonna have a look towards the end of the race. Could this be another what is the word I'm looking for? Strategy. Genius from Pantera. Obviously Nox gonna have to pit. He won't be able to do 25 laps on medium tires. 20 is barely manageable. Could Pantera pull off this one stop on the medium combat tires? Maybe even Kev and Upda, who are behind. Could they go to one stop for the mediums, or will they have to pit again for a set of softs? Will Gelato go for a one stop and end up being a late dark horse, I should say, coming from probably nowhere? He finally picks. Let's see what tire he goes into. If it's the hards, he's definitely going for a one stop there, and could be a late winner maybe. He goes for the mediums.
Goes for mediums, but
as I said, if Pantera could go on it, and Gelato go to the end on those tires.
Well, he was able to take the soft tyres 15 laps in, so he might be able to just have really good tyre management. So he might be able to take those mediums right to the end, actually.
Definitely, considering he's almost done half the race in those softs, he could definitely do half the race on the mediums. As we're about to reach halfway distance, maybe just about now, as we're heading to the middle of lap 16 part. Looking Big Boy leading on those old medium pound tyres from Einapple in the Williams. Not qualifying well either of these two, starting on the mediums and putting in the distance 15 laps for both of them. I don't think they'll pit anytime soon, maybe 5 laps, and then they'll stretch soft compound tyres to the end, 13 laps. Behind we've got Pantera leading from Nux. Actually, as I've been talking about, Gelato may be done. Nux has got lost the position to Pantera. Pantera retakes the lead.
Oh, he has.
Yeah, so losing a lot of content from just talking about these midfield runners who could be dark horses towards the end of the race. Maybe I have to watch out for them. Yeah, losing a lot of what's happening at the top. Maybe I have to just stay on board with these guys, as there's a train of about 5 cars with the provisional top 5. Pantera all the way down to Jay, separated by about 2.5 seconds. So it could be interesting. This is a Bahrain, I'd say, remake where there was the top 5 of New Jersey here ended up crashing out. We had Pantera, Felix, Knox, Kev, and Kugan. Was that Kev? Kev went wide.
Yeah, he nearly lost it. I thought he was going into the barrier for a second.
So was it just what he did on the formation where he just went a bit wide?
I think the car might have got a bit too light, probably coming up the top of the hill, and it just didn't settle right, and he just went slightly wide, but definitely good control to keep it out of the barrier though.
Yeah, and he's still within the DRS of Jay's, at least for now. So it still remains a train of 5 cars. Maybe Nux losing a bit to Pantera now. He's outside the second. He's not going to get DRS. So maybe Pantera pulling away on those fresher mediums. 5 laps, the difference between Nux and Pantera. So maybe he's just using that pace advantage, gonna pull out a gap, which could maybe hint to him pitting again for soft if he can get that gap, get the fastest lap, and add an extra point to his name.
Yeah, the points, every point counts at this stage of the season.
Definitely want all the confidence, having that gap over your rivals. It's going to every point ahead of them with the top or the other top guys who aren't racing or have already DNF'd in the race. He's going to take full advantage of that. He's going to want to make sure he puts it 3 for 3, and all the others are obviously going to want to make sure that they win and get valuable points to their name. Nux and Racing Opto going side by side. Racing Opto goes up the inside. There's a bit of contact between Jays and Nux on exit of turn 3. We're Racing Opto now into provisional P2. Nux is going to come back here with the DRS. He goes around the outside, brakes later, and he gets the move done and the position back, but Kev gets past Jays. Now Jays drops P7. Kev ahead of him, Racing Opto and Nux after a battle settled to the positions that they originally were. Pantera on the back of Iron Apple now, the first of the traffic, I would say. Iron Apple not having pit yet. He's going to want to clear him as soon as possible, make sure that the guys behind don't catch back into DRS. We have a spin Ferrari of Gabri. And what a move by Pantera around the outside into turn 14. Iron Apple losing maybe a bit of grip with those older medium tyres. He's actually going to allow Nux to get into DRS here, so this will allow Nux to join back into the fight with Pantera. Big Boy hits and he gets out of the way, so Pantera does take the lead now. And Nux, who has Iron Apple in the way, and he actually gets out of the way. Very good sportsmanship from Iron Apple there. Knowing that he doesn't have space, he doesn't really want to fight them and hold them up. These guys all leading, fighting for the win. But yeah, so we have up to P3, you can't make a move this lap either. Very close on the last lap. So showing that he does have pace over Nux, who still is running low on that ARS, finding it hard to gain back. All the other guys definitely struggling for EOS right now, all under 20% apart from Pantera, who's just sitting below 50. So he's looking in very strong position, Pantera again, showing a very big threat and very early contender in this championship, defending from Felix, who I believe is, no, Kev is second, and then Felix is in the next couple of spots, who's our last season's champion, and hoping to get some good points to the board, maybe make it 2 from 2. But yeah, so Pantera racing up to finally, he gets a move done, actually. That they go side by side, and he goes down the inside as a replica of what happened before. Kev is going to follow, racing up to 3 on the outside now. Bit of contact, Nux loses it and loses position to also Jays. But will Kev now get that provisional P2? He goes around the outside, Nux dives onto Jays. Kev moves up 2 positions from that to Nux, and racing up to moves into provisional P2 behind now Pantera. Racing up to stay P3, very frustrating for him probably. Finally getting past Nux, but getting overtaken by Kev in the process. And Jay's just moving ahead of Nux after there was contact between Kev and Nux, allowing Jay's through after Nux just kind of lost it on X.
And that was a interesting short battle there.
Yeah, I don't think it's the end of it. They're all within a second. I reckon there could be more. This Racing Up to just going to desperately want that P2 after failing 2 laps in a row. 3 laps in a row, sorry. And finally getting moved on, but then getting overtaken by Kev. He's not close enough on this lap. He's going to be setting up for the next one. They're both on similar ERS, just above 10%. Big Boy says the fastest lap of 1:18.7. He's on the soft compound tyres, so I don't think he'll be going to the end of the race after going very long on the mediums.
Yeah. You never know though if he's going to take those soft tyres to the end.
Yeah, definitely. And if he does, that's going to stand him into a good position, as I reckon some of these top 5 will have to pit again. Mainly being Nuts and Jays pitting a couple laps earlier than the rest. And I reckon they'll just pit again, maybe for a later soft run. And Vit, P14, now takes the fastest lap, 1:18.3 I think that was. Very good from Vit. As I said, P14, he's not had the best of races, losing it, I think it spun around turn 8 before earlier in this race, dropping out the points after a pretty good qualifying for his standards. And you just want to keep that fastest lap, maybe just take away some points from anyone above, even if it isn't a point to himself. It's going to help him maybe close gaps later on. But yeah, as I was talking about before, Big Boy, if he isn't to pit again and the others are, he could definitely be a big threat. Same with Gallardo, as we were talking about before. And I know who was still yet to pit in P6. He's going to lose a lot of time pitting because he's on very old mediums. He's using a lot of time. I'm surprised he hasn't come into the pit. Yeah, he's definitely willing to do a one stop on those mediums to softs. As we're going towards the front again, racing up to he's lost a bit and he's just, I think, and he actually loses it. And he gets a 10-second corner cutting penalty, which I don't think is right. I think he'll maybe get that removed because it wasn't his fault. But he drops to the back of that train. Well, not really a train anymore, but he just loses out. And Gallardo has disconnected again. So very unlucky for him. So someone who may be challenging for a late podium here has disconnected. He will want to join back as early as possible, as quickly as possible. As Nux, Jace, and Racing Up to all very close. The door almost opened for up to there, but Nux just swings back, closes it shut, and they'll stay the same positions down into turn 5 now. The move as I was talking about on Nux getting overtaken by Kevin and then losing it, and now it's a 10-second penalty to his name. Maybe going to get that removed as he couldn't really do anything about it, and he didn't actually gain any time from it. As we're talking about, Kev actually does have a penalty of 3 seconds, so Jays will want to stay as close as he can to Kev, keeping to maybe take away P2 towards the end of the race. About 9 laps remaining as they come across the line. Kev actually kind of closing Pantera in the last couple. 1.5 is his gap, but he's going to want to close that gap as much, maybe hopefully get into DRX range. And as I was saying, Nuts has now pit. He's going to go for his second set of softs. He's going to maybe take the fastest lap if he can. But Ash spins at turn 8, it seems like. He drops down to now P14. And the last of the people on the lead lap. But could that mean Jace is going to pit soon, or will he take those mediums all the way to the end? Will he risk the positions from pitting, then just to maybe lose 1 or 2 from staying slow and maybe losing his podium, as he's now outside 3 seconds of Atom Kev. Oh, he's not, he's almost outside of 3 seconds of Atom, so he's losing a lot to those top 2 runners. Pantera still in the lead. That gap has come down another 2 tenths this lap, so maybe in about 5 laps time, could Kev be well within DRS range and looking to make a late move towards the end. Anything can happen here.
Yeah, well, especially with what we've seen so far this race, it's still pretty much an open deal essentially in terms of who's going to win.
Finally chose to retake control of this car. He actually lost position to Big Boy in all of that, losing about 10 seconds of that disconnection. Yeah, definitely, as you were saying, the doors are wide open for anything, and penalties can still come rushing through. Spins can happen at any moment if the drivers aren't careful. So we're just hoping, well, kind of wanting Kev to close the gap here, just give us a final sprint battle to the end. See who can take the win there. Next gets the 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. He's dropped down to P8 with that pit stop. He's going to want to quickly get past you guys. And there's actually a collision between Pineapple and Vertex into turn 4. It seemed like Pineapple and Vertex both collided, and Pineapple only just now rejoining the track, so losing a bunch of time after stretching those mediums. They started on about 21 laps. Actually, no, they're very soft, so he's stretching about 25 laps. There's actually 3 wide behind to turn for P11. There's 3 wide between BWS, Vit, and Havina. Havina and Vit still side by side going through turn 7. Maybe Vit will now lose the place after going a bit wide to BWS. He doesn't. He stays P12, and if people have to pit again, and that does take the fast lap as I thought he might. If Vit can get past Havina and someone else has maybe collision, Pineapple picks up a penalty, Vit could still take points here. And Pineapple's actually off, so this is now the battle for the final point, and Vit has taken it. Right now, Vit is in P10 and taking that point on softs compared to Havina's old mediums. So he has a pace advantage there, and I think that could be P10 for him, settle the move. Havina coming back with DRS now. And he looks to the inside, he doesn't make the move. A bit too far back there, and he might even lose the position to BWS, who has a little look. He doesn't go for it. But what could happen on this next DRS straight? BWS is very close to the back of him. He looks to the inside, he doesn't break play. He sends the mid down actually a bit deep, and he just sticks in P12 for now. Now switching back to the front and racing up to loses it to 3 turn 3, and has now lost that the close gap that he had to Jays. Has now gone to almost 2 seconds now, so he's not having a great race on those mediums. He spun and got that 10-second penalty through turn 12 into turn 13. And now just losing it through turn 3, losing time to Jays now, who's going to want to hopefully close that gap to Kev as much as he can, maybe getting on to that second step of the podium. Currently in P3, I don't think he'll make another stop with 5 laps remaining. But we'll have a look at what happens towards the end. Could Kev pick up another penalty, and make that 6 seconds, allow Jays to just have that extra room and comfortability? Or could Jays get a penalty and not worry Kev whatsoever? Pantera looking like he'll take this one yet again. 1.6 gap is extended from the last time I've checked, and not having a penalty. So he could definitely, yeah, as long as he's clean, I think he can take this one again.
Yeah, Pantera's been a pretty consistent so far, it seems. Haven't seen much mistakes from him.
Yeah, definitely. I think the only time I've seen him really make a proper mistake, and it wasn't even his fault, was when he had that collision with New Jersey, as New Jersey was entering the track at Imola and just kind of got in Pantera's way. He happened to stop for a front wing change, but then ended up being a blessing in disguise as the safety car came and we came onto the hard compact tires and just went to the end of the race, having a 12-second gap in the end to Kev behind, and he's extended that gap a further 0.3 this lap. So he's going extremely well, and if he just stays clean, just not going wide, not pushing the track limits whatsoever, he will come home comfortably this race. He's got the pace advantage and no penalties whatsoever. Looking very comfortable right now in that Haas, as he's getting pretty familiar with this season.
Just currently on board with BSW. He's really close in behind Havana.
Yeah, he is coming through turn 13 now. He's on pressure softs, and Havana is on mediums. But he goes a bit wide there, so he does get the exit he probably would have wanted through there. And does he have damage? He's coming into the pits. Maybe there was a collision. Or anything, but it's 5 seconds until spinning in the pit lane. Magnum disconnects yet again. But he comes in, and it is for front wing damage. So very unlucky PWS, kind of pushing the edge of the top 10, maybe if someone made a mistake. But now it's to drop far behind him. It's currently in P13. And joins the lapped cars. Vit in P10, he's on track for his first points after 2 very unfortunate DNFs, including a first lap crash at the start of Imola. He's looking very comfortable, 2.5 second gap to Havana behind. And he's just going to want to make sure he doesn't spin or anything. Pineapple in the pit again. He's currently in P15, so after showing pace in Imola, he hasn't really shown it here. P12 in qualifying, and just showing mistakes through this race. Going maybe a bit too long on that first medium compound tyre, and just setting himself up for the couple of mistakes that he's had towards the end. And Freestyle gets past Gallardo, who has disconnected. So he isn't at full pace, obviously, as we have AI cars going a bit slower, just in case someone decides to go in AI, they will be slightly punished for that. And then Freestyle up into P7, taking a couple of points away from him. And his rivals, Nux in P6 after making a stop, hitting very early on in his first stint for the medium compounded tyres, and then pinning again, currently as fast as lap. But he's just coasting, so he's not exactly trying to push into the back of Big Boy right now. I'm gonna have a look pretty fast. So actually Gallardo has it. I didn't see it, but Gallardo actually has it, a 1:18.1. So the reserve of Gallardo, even though he's in PA and having some disconnected issues, he's going to get an extra point for the fastest lap, it seems like, unless someone makes a late pit stop. As we're going to head on to the final lap, it seems like this Grand Prix has flown by. We're already going on to the final lap of the race now. Pantera currently P1 with a gap of, what was it, 2.4 seconds to Kev. 2.4 to Kev behind, so very comfortable position. He just needs to make sure he makes no mistakes through this final lap, and he will come home yet another victory. Kev behind, he's going to hope that Pantera makes a mistake. That costs him over 5 seconds to get that lead with 3 seconds spare. Jay's currently P3, got a 6-second gap to Kev and a 3-second gap behind to Upto, who's just made a couple of mistakes on those medium compounder tyres. But we have Pantera coming through the turn 9 that is there and into turn 10 downhill. He's going into the final sector. He's got a 3-second gap now, so very comfortable. He's already started weaving, I think. I think he knows that he's got this when he is weaving. He is weaving already. He's gotten through the final corner now. He started to weave a couple of corners ago. He comes through the final one now. He doesn't lose it. Coming up to the line, Pantera makes it 3 from 3. The Polish kid in the hat. He takes another win and does his celebration that Max Verstappen has done for the 2nd time in a row. Did the same at Imola, and very good race from Pantera there. Kev comes home to P2, and Jay's in the last of the podium positions. So the exact same podium as we had in Imola has copied its way over into Portugal. Very consistent from these top 3 guys, racing up into 4th after that 10-second penalty. He stays ahead of Max, who's in P5. Big boy P6 dropping down because of penalties. Freestyler in P7. Gallardo has the fastest lap and then this was P8, so it's a very good result from the reserve there. He's gonna definitely have proven himself with that pace. Vertex P9 and Vic coming around the final corner to finally score some points. He's gonna be so relieved from that, even though it's only 1. He's gonna be very happy with that result after probably not great luck on me after being the final car to come across the line. P11, and he smashes into Iron Apple there, who was stranded on the track. What a race that was. As I said, really flew by.
Yeah, it was a race that definitely flew by quite quickly. You pretty much lost track of time and the laps, essentially, just with everything that was going on.
Yeah, considering it was 33 laps there, it didn't seem that many. It seemed only about 25 or something like that. But again, very good race from Pantera, showing his dominance in the lead, and that's now 3 from 3. And showing early signs that he means business in his first season. In Div 1 at least, and yeah, he's definitely going to carry this momentum through to the next couple rounds and probably to the end of the season. He's got a commanding, and he moves to now 45 points in the championship. Very unlucky from likes of Felix One, Kogai and Kavudi, people who could probably be challenging at the top of the grid, all got caught up in incidents at the start of the race. But as we said, Pantera wins. And that's been another week of PAFR Division 1 on these Sunday nights here in Australia and New Zealand. I hope you can join us all next week after an exciting race. And yeah, we'll see you again next week. Thank you guys.